learn how to examine respiratory system. So even in this era of advanced investigational facilities, there is no substitute of your clinical acumen like history taking and clinical examination. So this is very important, and by day-to-day daily clinical examination, you have to learn how to examine a child. So respiratory system examination in children. The respiratory system examination starts from examination of nose. So at first we will see the nose. What all we see in the nose? Position of the nose, any deviation of the septum, any polyp in the nasal cavity, any congestion of the nasal cavity. All these we will see in the nose. Then we will examine ear. So any wax in the ear or any features of otitis media. Then we will examine throat. So any tonsillar enlargement or any inflammation of the tonsils, inflammation of the pharynx. So these all we see. So respiratory system examination starts from examination of the nose, ear and throat. Now we will come to the examination of chest. So for the purpose of examination, we will divide the chest into different areas. What are those different areas? So there are 3 areas in the side, 4 in the front and 5 in the back. So how will you divide this? So this is superior axillary area, middle axillary area, inferior axillary area. In the front, supraclavicular area, infraclavicular area, mammary area and inframammary area. Okay, then idhar ghum jao beta, then back. So suprascapular region, scapular region, interscapular region, subscapular region and then basal region. So 3 on the side, 4 on the front and 5 in the back. आ जाओ बेटा, सीधा हो जाइए. So there is a protocol for clinical examination which starts from inspection, palpation, percussion and auscultation. But in children, strictly following this sequence is not possible sometimes. If you can follow it, this is very good. If not, then you can modify it. If child is crying, not cooperative, some children are very cooperative, some children are very uncooperative. So according to that, you have to modify. If the child is sleeping, just you can first auscultate the child, then complete the other examination. But it should be tried to follow the protocol of inspection, palpation, percussion and auscultation. So start from inspection. Inspection means seeing. So what all you see in inspection? First is the shape of chest, then symmetry of chest, then movement of the chest, then position of trachea, then see the sign of any respiratory distress and then count respiratory rate. One by one I will discuss. First come to the shape. So normal shape in infant is almost circular shape, round shape. After infancy, gradually the transverse diameter increases in comparison to the anteroposterior diameter, and the chest becomes elliptical in shape. So this is the normal shape of the chest. So what abnormality you can get in the shape of chest? There are various abnormalities, like there may be some congenital problem in the form of pectus carinatum and pectus excavatum. So if this portion is depressed, then it is pectus excavatum. If it is depressed, if it is elevated, then it is pectus carinatum. And if there is hyperinflation both sides of the lungs, and there may be inflated chest, shape of the chest, there may be swelling on one side of the chest, like there is pleural effusion or one side pneumothorax, then one side will be elevated in comparison to the other side. So this is the shape of the chest. There may be funnel shaped chest in case in some position, in which disease we see the funnel shaped chest. There is pigeon chest. Pigeon chest is seen in rickets. Yes. So there may be pigeon chest, there may be funnel shaped chest. There are different types of shapes, abnormal shapes of chest we can look for. Then come to symmetry. Okay, symmetry is what? Symmetry means chest should be bilaterally symmetrical, means both structures on both sides should be similar. So what asymmetry we can see in the chest? there may be drooping of shoulder. One shoulder will be just depressed due to collapse or fibrosis of the upper lobe of lung. So there may be drooping of the shoulder on one side. So this is asymmetry. Another asymmetry, there may be, you can see from the back, like kyphosis, scoliosis, like that. And if there is pleural effusion one side or pneumothorax one side, the shape will be, symmetry will be dissimilar. Okay. So normally it should be symmetrical. Now see the movement of the chest. Movement of the chest. So you can see the movement of the, लेट जाओ तो बेटा एक मिनट के लिए लेट जाइए तो very good. So see the movement of the chest. So for better movement, you should ऐसे करो बेटा. You should movement of the chest. You should stand here at the end of the bed and see from here like this. See the movement. From here, watch the movement of the chest. So what is the movement? So normally, movement of the chest in infants, the expression is abdominal thoracic. Abdominal thoracic. In infants, after infancy, in girl child, it becomes thoracoabdominal. In male, it remains abdominal thoracic. So you have to see the movement. Now, you back the beta. So just to see the movement. Yeah. So one is shape, then symmetry, then movement. Then see the position of trachea. How will you see the position of trachea? इधर घूम जाओ तो बेटा एक मिनट के लिए. हाँ, very good, very good. So see, just see the clavicular head of sternocleidomastoid muscles. Just see, focus here. So both sides should be similar on inspections. If there is prominence on one side, suppose right side, there is prominence, it means trachea is deviated to that side, and this is called Trell's sign. So it will be obvious on inspections only. So these are the clavicular heads of sternocleidomastoid. Just see it, and if one side is more prominent in comparison to other side, there may be deviation of trachea on that side. So see, and on inspection, other things you can see is the visible pulsations in the form of apex beat. You can see, and you can see where the apex beat is on inspections only. So in that way, we have to see on inspections all these things: shape of the chest, symmetry of the chest, movement of the chest, and cardiac pulsations, any obvious swelling, any venous prominence, vascular prominence. These all you see on inspections. So another thing is what? On inspections, shape, symmetry, movement. Then what I have told you? Sign of respiratory distress. So what are the signs of respiratory distress? There are different signs. So there may be, just I want to locate it, there may be subcostal retractions, this area, retraction of this area, subcostal retractions, intercostal retractions, this area. There may be supraesternal retractions, this area. There may be flaring of the ala nasal. So these all are the signs of respiratory distress. So normally on inspiration, chest and abdomen both should expand. If it is going inward, then this is retraction. So we have to localize the site of retraction, where it is subcostal, intercostal, supraesternal, flaring of ala nasal. So severity of respiratory distress depends on these sides. Then count the respiratory rate. So lastly you count the respiratory rate, and respiratory rate varies in children according to the age, whether it is neonates or infants. Like less than 60 per minute is normal in neonates, and 2 months to 12 months, less than 50 per minute is normal. So according to age, respiratory rate varies. You will have to know that. So this completes the inspection part. Now come to the palpation. What all you see in palpation? At first, we should confirm the findings of inspection on palpation. So finding you should confirm. Just see the movement. How will you confirm the movement of chest on palpation? बेटा जरा ऐसे हो जाओ, घूम जाओ, ऐसे बेटा घूम जाओ, ऐसे घूम जाइए बेटा, घूम जाइए. Very good. Just put both the hands on shoulder and see the movement. Both compare the movement of both sides, whether it is equal or not. Okay. Then see the position of trachea. Now how will you confirm? So you put index finger over one clavicular head of sternocleidomastoid muscles and this index finger over other side. So this is right side, left side I have put, and middle finger in between and move this middle finger in the midline like this, like this, like this, like this. So if it is in the midline, trachea is normally located. But if dips on either side, like it dips in right side, trachea is diverted to the right. If it dips in left side, trachea is diverted to the left. So on inspection it was trail sign, and this method is on palpation. Now see the compare the symmetry of movement. Just इधर आधा बटा तरफ ऐसे घूम जाओ. Just encircle the chest like this. Encircle the chest like this. Keep your both thumbs in the midline and see the movement, whether thumbs of both sides are moving equally or not. So if the movement of one thumb is more in comparison to other side, there may be some restriction of movement on that side in which there is less movement. Okay, you can do it on back also, like this, like this. बेटा घूम जाओ इधर. So just घूम जाइए. Just encircle the chest like this and keep both thumbs in the midline like this and see the movement, whether the movements are equal or not. Okay, so in this case you can see movements are equal. So the child is breathing in and my both thumbs are moving equally from the midline, so it is normal. Okay, on palpation then you can see tactile vocal parameters. So how will check tactile vocal parameters? So it can be felt with the ulnar border of hands. So just keep ulnar borders of hands like this and say the child to repeat few words like 1, 2, 3 like that. बेटा 1, 2, 3 बोलते रहो. बोलो बेटा 1, 2, 3 बोलो. 1, 1, 1, 1. हाँ 1, 1 बोलते रहो. 1, 1 बोलते रहो बेटा. 1, 1 बोलो. 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 So on every area which I have already described you, 1, 1 बोलते रहो बेटा. 1, 1 बोलते रहो. बोलो. On every area you have to check. This is tactile vocal parameters. Back also, like this, like this, like this. So by that way you can see the tactile vocal parameters. If the tactile vocal means vibration, felt vibration is increased over a certain area, there may be some lesions like consolidation of that area. Okay, and if it is decreased, there may be fluid in the pleural cavity or air in the pleural cavity like that. So this is palpations, and lastly we can check the tenderness. So just by gentle palpation you can see the tenderness. There may be osteochondritis. Osteochondritis, this is common in children. It is known as Tisch syndrome also. So if you press this area, there will be tenderness, and see the face of the child. So it is not here, so there is no tenderness over any region. See like this, there is no tenderness over any region. So this is palpation. Then come to the palpation of apex beat. So apex beat in children from birth to 4 years of age lies in the 4th intercostal space, not in 5th, in contrast to adult. So it is in the 4th intercostal space. Gradually it comes down, and at age of approximately 7 years it localizes in the 5th intercostal space, that is the position of adult, and it is on the mid-clavicular line. In infancy up to 3 years of age it is just lateral to the mid-clavicular line, and after 7 years approximately it comes just middle to the mid-clavicular line in the 5th intercostal space. So from birth to 3 years it is in the 4th intercostal space and just lateral to the mid-clavicular line. So just feel the apex beat. Apex beat is the what? Downward and outward felt pulsation is apex beat, pulsation of the heart. So this is apex beat. So this completes palpation. Now come to percussion. This is very important. How to percuss? बेटा जरा एक बार लेट जाइए, तो आप लेट जाइए. Very good, very good. हाथ नीचे रखिए बेटा. हाँ, very good. So for percussion, use your non-dominant hand and put your this middle finger. This is called pleximeter finger. Non-dominant middle finger, and just keep on the chest and percuss with the. This is called flexor. Middle finger of your dominant hand, and lift all other fingers from the chest wall. Just one finger, middle finger, will be in contact with the chest wall. Other fingers will be off the chest wall. This is important. Okay. Then percuss the middle phalanx of your this middle finger like this, and movement should be on the wrist. Movement should be on the wrist. So like this percuss, and percuss all areas. Like this, like this, like this, like this. So every region should be percussed. So there may be normal percussion note, there may be dull percussion note, there may be hyper resonant or resonant percussion note. So normal is normal. If there is any lesion like consolidations or collapse, there may be dull percussion note. And if there is pneumothorax, there may be hyper resonant percussion note. And if there is pleural effusion, then there will be a stony dull percussion note. So these are the different percussion note. Then come to one is auscultatory percussion. Auscultatory, बेटा बैठ जाओ तो बैठ जाइए. So how you do auscultatory percussion? Just we percuss you can auscultate in the back, all area, auscultate it, every area. So just percuss the manubrium here, like manubrium I am percussing. Just percuss the manubrium and auscultate all the area from the back, all the regions. All the regions means suprascapular, scapular, interscapular, subscapular and basal, all the regions. And I am just percussing the manubrium like this. Okay. So smaller regions, if the lesions are less than 3 centimeter or any mediastinal lymph node or hilar lymph node will be detected by this percussion method. This is called auscultatory percussion. Okay. Now one is direct light percussion. What is that direct light percussion? So it is used to see the lesions in the superficial portion of the lung, that is apex of the lung. So in direct light percussion, use only this flexor finger, not the fleximeter finger, and directly percuss the clavicle. I am just percussing the clavicle. See, clavicle, both sides, clavicle. Direct light percussion. So if there is lesion in the upper lobe, there will be dullness on that side. So this is the percussion. Now come to the last part of examination, that is auscultation. So auscultation, what all you see in auscultation? First is intensity of breath sound. Second is quality of breath sound. Third is vocal resonance. And fourth is adventitious sound. So intensity of breath sound. So intensity of breath sound, in all area we should look for intensity of the breath sounds. So बेटा जरा सांस लीजिए. Ask the child to breathe properly. ऐसे देखो बेटा, मैं कैसे सांस लूंगा. देखो मुंह से करो बेटा. उधर देखो, आप उधर देखो. सांस. वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. सांस. वेरी गुड. सांस लेते रहो बेटा. सांस. So repeat the word सांस, सांस, then the child will take. So you have to see the intensity. Intensity means loudness, just loudness. Loudness is equal on over the all areas or not. If it is not equal, it is if the intensity of the breath sound is decreased on that area, there is some pathology over that area of lung. Okay. Now the quality of breath sound. So there are 3 qualities of breath sound in children. 3 qualities. So normal breath sound is vesicular breath sound. Vesicular breath sound means inspiratory period is prolonged, and there is no pause between inspiration and expiration, and expiratory phase will be shorter, and there will be hissing sound like that. This is called vesicular breathing, and this is normal. In children, you can hear bronchovesicular breathing also, in which there is no pause between inspiration and expiration, but the expiratory part is a little bit harsh. So this is called bronchovesicular breath sound. It is also normal in children. Third is bronchial breath sound, that is abnormal. So what happens in bronchial breath sounds? So the phase of inspiration and expiration both are in equal duration, and there is a pause between inspiration and expirations, and expiratory phase particularly will be harsh like that. So this is the 3 quality of breath sounds: vesicular, bronchovesicular and bronchial. So bronchial is abnormal. Bronchial breath sound can be heard over pathology like consolidations or collapse or fibrosis over that area, or bronchiectasis over that area. You can see this type of bronchial breathing. Now come to the vocal resonance. So what is vocal resonance? So how you will check vocal resonance? Just auscultate and like vocal perimeters. Ask the child to repeat 1, 2, 3 like that and see. So बेटा बोलते रहो, 1, 2, 3 बोलो बेटा, बोलते रहो, 1, 1. So just when I am auscultating, it seems that the sound is being produced near the diaphragm of the chest. So it is normal. If it appears that the sound is produced near the earpiece, then it is bronchophony. This is called bronchophony. And there is egophony. Egophony, what is that egophony? Egophony is it is heard over the upper border of pleural effusion. So if the child will produce 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 like that, there will be breathing sound on nasal twangs. So this is egophony. And one is whispering pectoralic key. So it is heard over the area of bronchopleural fistula. So what happens in whispering pectoralic key? If the child will just whisper, it is inaudible to the others, but when you are auscultating with a stethoscope, the sounds will be very clear, words will be very clear. So this is called whispering pectoralic key. It is commonly heard over the area of bronchopleural fistula. Now, the most common findings in respiratory disease, the adventitious sounds are what? Two sounds, wheezes and crackles. So we should use only two words. One is wheeze, second is crackles. So what is wheeze? Wheeze is a musical continuous sound produced by narrowed airway due to the oscillatory flow of the airway, turbulence in the airway. So this is continuous and musical, like this. So wheeze are of two types, monophonic wheeze and polyphonic wheeze. If there is obstruction of a single airway, then there will be monophonic wheeze. Intensity may vary over the different area of lungs, but quality will be same. Frequency will be same. This is monophonic. It is heard in single airway obstruction like foreign body in the bronchus, any mucus plug in the bronchus. And second is polyphonic wheeze. Polyphonic means there is obstruction in the various airways. So polyphonic wheeze, the classical example of polyphonic wheeze is asthma. There will be different qualities of this musical sound. So like this, just you say the child to take deep breath. बेटा मुंह से सांस लो जैसे ले रहे थे. Yes. There will be, if there will be wheeze, we can auscultate it. Then crackles. What is crackles? Crackles is a non-continuous sound. Wheeze is a continuous sound. Crackles, non-continuous sound produced by sudden opening of previously closed airway. And the classical example, classical pathology is consolidations or bronchiectasis. So you can just take an example of when you are walking and you put your foot over a dry leaf. What kind of sound you hear? That kind of sound is crackles. That it is crackles. It is not continuous, it is intermittent. And one sound which is easily confused with crackles are rattling sounds. Rattling sound is produced due to flow of air over the secretions in the airway. So it is easily confused with crackles. So, but we should know how to differentiate this. So the classical example of wheeze is asthmatic children. Classical example crackles is consolidation, pneumonia patient. So these two are the common findings in most of the respiratory diseases, crackles and wheeze. Now we will perform two different tests. One is wine test and one is friction test. So please, just you please come here and put one coin here over one chest area and percuss with other coin. See, so and just auscultate over all areas of the chest from the back. Just I am auscultating it. If there is bell type tympanic sound over one area, one side of the chest, it means there is pneumothorax on that side of the chest. Okay, so this is the test for detecting pneumothorax clinically. Second is friction test. So friction test, just how friction test is done, just I will put a stethoscope on the mid portion of the chest, and please scratch both sides of the chest. Okay, yes, this is causing friction. Okay, so if the friction is more loud over one area, it is indicative of pneumothorax of that area. Okay, so these tests are to clinically detect pneumothorax. There are investigations you can do, but chest X-ray will take time, ultrasound will take time, but this you can do at the bedside very quickly and detect pneumothorax. So these all are about respiratory system examination of children. Thank you very much.